Chase just completely ruined the Sapphire Reserve. I knew this card was getting a refresh, but I didn't know that it was going to be this bad. I got the Sapphire Reserve for two reasons. Number one is because of the 50% boost when you book your Chase points through their travel portal, and number two is 3 points on all other travel, and both of those benefits are being removed. And before we get into it, man, I just want to say, I don't know who at Chase thought this was going to be a good idea. These are bad changes. I don't see a silver lining anywhere here, and I hate to say it, this card is now a coupon book, even worse than the Amex Platinum. And I'm normally not this angry or aggressive in my videos, but these changes are bad. There's no other way to put it. And being that I'm one of the only credit card YouTubers that actually has the Sapphire Reserve instead of the Preferred, hopefully I can offer you guys some insights that other people might not have. So I'm going to break this video down into 3 parts. Number one, I'm going to go over what these changes are. Number two, tell you why these changes are so bad. And number three, tell you what to do if you are a Sapphire holder or you were thinking about getting the card. So on June 23rd, the Sapphire Reserve's annual fee is going to go from $550 to $795, which is now the most expensive premium travel credit card, $100 over the Amex Platinum even. And if you want to add an authorized user to your Sapphire Reserve, so if you had a spouse and you wanted to give them a card with some of the benefits, before you only had to pay $75, but now you have to pay $195 for that authorized user. All travel booked through the Chase travel portal is going to earn you 8 points per dollar spent. That is a buff for when you book flights through it, but a nerf for hotels and car rentals. You're then going to earn 4 points instead of 3 on flights or hotels booked directly with the airline or hotel, and then 3 points on dining. But here is the really big one. You are losing the category that gives you 3 points back on all other purchases, which is huge for me because I can no longer book Airbnbs with this card and earn 3 points per dollar spent. I can only earn 1 point on that. So overall, a huge nerf in the earning categories. I'll break these down individually, but the new benefits it's giving you is $500 splitting up into $250 a year for their edit collection, the same $300 travel credit, a $300 dining credit, split it up into two $150 credits a year, and that's only going to apply to restaurants in Chase's Sapphire Reserve exclusive table collection. You then get a $250 credit for Apple TV or music, IHG One rewards, Platinum Elite status, a $300 StubHub credit splitting up into 2 semi-annual credits, $120 Peloton credit, $120 Lyft credit, DoorDash Pass plus credits for that, and then you still get the global entry / TSA, priority pass and lounge access, and then Visa Infinite benefits. And now after you spend $75,000, you get IHG Diamond Elite status, a $500 Southwest credit, eggless status with Southwest, and a $250 shops credit. And like I said, this card is also losing that 50% boost when you book through Chase's travel portal and that 3x points on everything else. And all the different bots and the blogs that Chase has a leash on are going to tell you, OMG, this card only has a $200 more annual fee, but you're getting $1,500 worth of value. But that is simply not true. The way you see if a credit card with a high annual fee is worth it for you or not is you first bring out your budget and then look at the statement credits that this high annual fee credit card is giving you. If those statement credits replaces spend that was already in your budget, you can reduce the effective annual fee and decide if that card is worth it for you or not. So don't be one of these people that looks at the new dining or hotel credit and is like, oh, I could use that one, when really you were never going to use that credit and you were just coping and convincing yourself this card is giving you value when it's really not. So I want to go ahead and break down these statement credits for you guys and show you why they're so trash. I'm a visual learner, so I'm going to put it in visual format for you guys. All right, so first of all, we have that statement credit for $500 splitting up semi-annually for hotels in Chase's edit collection. Now, the thing about those hotels is they're going to be at the minimum like $400 to book. And also to get this statement credit, you have to book a minimum of 2 nights. So to get this credit, you're going to be spending like $1,000 or more. So I can tell you that this is a statement credit that I'm not going to be using. We then have the $300 travel credit that can be used for pretty much anything. I use it for my Airbnb, but Chase was already giving you that, so there's nothing new there. So far I have $300 in value. You then have the $300 dining credit, which is split up into $150 semi-annually. When I looked at all the different restaurants in my hometown, they were all really expensive, and I didn't recognize a single one, even though I've lived in that city for like 7 years. So this isn't a statement credit that I would get value from. We then have the $250 Apple TV and music. I'm a Spotify user and I've never used Apple TV, so I'm not going to use that one either. We then have a $300 StubHub credit splitting up semi-annually. I didn't even know what StubHub was until I looked it up. You can get tickets for like concerts and stuff from it, but I'm not going to use that. I didn't even know what that was, right? Then we have a Peloton credit, I'm not using that. I don't have a Peloton. Who has a... We then have the $10 a month Lyft credit. The current Sapphire Reserve already has that. I maybe use like half of it. So I'll say this gives me $60 in value. We then have a free Dash Pass with different credits, and these credits are whack. They give you like two $10 a month credits and then a $5 a month credit. I've never used DoorDash a day in my life, so this is a credit that I'm not going to be using. And then I already have Global Entry or TSA. I have 2 different cards that give me that, and the card already came for it, so whatever, we won't calculate that in. I also don't care about IHG status, and I'm not putting $75,000 of spend on this card in a year. I think that could be a lot better spent on the Freedom Unlimited and then those points moved over. So I don't care about those benefits that come after you spend $75,000. So let's do some quick math. This card has a $795 annual fee. All I'm getting is $360 worth of value. That brings my effective annual fee to $435. And guess what? Those 2 benefits that I actually can use, the card already came with them when it had a $550 annual fee. So literally every single one of these new statement credits that are being added, I'm not going to be able to use. Plus the 2 reasons that I have this card both just disappeared. Let's talk about that 50% boost going away. For many, many people, myself included, this card was the economy domestic traveler card because it gave you that 50% boost, meaning that you're getting an automatic 1.5 cents per point. And 1.5 cents per point is very good for economy domestic. Usually you'd have to transfer your points out to someone like Delta or United, which are only going to usually give you around 1.2 cents per point. So what having the Sapphire Reserve open meant for me is that as long as I had Chase points, I'd never have to pay cash for a flight again. Replacing that 50% boost is now a 100% boost, but only on hotels through the edit and then on select flights. And when you go to Chase's website, it says top hotels and resorts and then premium cabin airfare, meaning you're no longer going to be able to choose where you get that boost. And Chase is indicating that these boosts are usually only going to be for business class or premium airlines. Also, just to hammer in how big of a deal losing that 3x on all other travel is, I almost always prefer paying cash for an Airbnb instead of a hotel. I'm actually filming this out of an Airbnb right now. I just moved across the country, and until I get settled in my new job and find an apartment, I'm staying in this one for like 3 weeks. And guess what? I can just put that on my Sapphire Reserve and earn thousands of extra points. But that's no longer going to be a thing. So what Chase is trying to do is no longer make this a card for the everyday economy traveler, and now making it a premium card with premium experiences. But what premium experiences are you getting? Pretty much just lounge access, right? And let me tell you my experience with the Chase lounges. So I've had this card for about, I think 3 months now, and I've been in 4 total Sapphire lounges. The first one that I went in was the Austin Terrace. That one's already closed down. It was all right. I got some food out of a vending machine there and chilled there outside. It was outside and in the Austin heat, but I guess it was better than sitting in the airport. My other experience was in the Philadelphia lounge. And although the lounge itself was cool, I had to walk 20 minutes to get to that lounge, 20 minutes back to my gate, and I only had like 15 minutes to shovel down a couple breakfast burritos and then scurry back, but it was not worth walking 40 minutes to. And then my last experience is I went to the Phoenix Lounge twice. That lounge was disgusting. It was overpacked. The food was horrible. I don't drink, so I don't care about the drinks. There was a 20-minute wait both times I tried to get in, and honestly, that Phoenix Lounge wasn't even worth sitting in. I honestly would have been happier sitting outside in just the airport gate typing on my computer. Although pretty overrated, that lounge access was just icing on the cake because I got this card for the 50% boost and then the 3x on all other travel. But now that overrated lounge access is the selling point of this card. Plus, the Sapphire Reserve has never ever been a standalone card. You always compare it to the Sapphire Preferred, which has a 25% boost and the exact same transfer partners. So I really don't know why anyone would pick the Sapphire Reserve over the Sapphire Preferred at this point of time. Also, I want to remind you that you get 1 free entrance per year into one of the Sapphire lounges with any other Priority Pass card. So if I got the Venture X and I got my Priority Pass card, I could go into a Sapphire lounge once per year. Also, why would you get the Sapphire Reserve over the Amex Platinum? Short answer, you wouldn't. The Amex Platinum has, I believe, 28 lounges to Chase's 7 lounges. However, like I prophesied in my last video, the king of annual fees and statement credits, Amex, is not going to allow Chase to have the highest annual fee card. So they just announced that they're reworking the Platinum, and it's most likely going to go over to a $1,000 or higher annual fee. But I do think those statement credits and that card is going to be better than the Sapphire Reserve. The current version of the Amex Platinum has better statement credits than the Sapphire Reserve. Like I just showed you, not a single one of these new benefits or statement credits is going to be worth it for me. So what does this all mean for current Sapphire Reserve card holders or people that are thinking about getting the Sapphire Reserve? This is all a bit confusing, but the way that I understand it is the Reserve's annual fee is upping from $550 to $795 on June 23rd. So if someone goes and applies for it fresh after that, they're going to get the new statement credits and benefits and have to pay the new annual fee. But for current Sapphire holders, you won't get those benefits till after October 26th. And if you have the Sapphire card currently and your renewal is before October 26, 2025, you're only going to pay a $550 annual fee. But then after October, you get all those benefits. And then the year after, when your card renews, you would then have to pay that new annual fee. So let's say you have the Sapphire Reserve right now, your card renews in August, you can keep it at the $550 annual fee and then get access to the new benefits if you want. Also, if you open your Sapphire Reserve before June 23rd, 2025, any points you earn before October 2025 can be redeemed for that 1.5 cents per point in the Chase Travel Portal until October 2027. What that pretty much means is that if you currently have the Sapphire Reserve and have points on one of your Freedom cards or your Ink cards and you want to redeem at that 1.5 cents per point in the portal, make sure you move those over before October. So I got my Sapphire Reserve in March, meaning that in October, those new credits will hit my card, but I will only be paying a $550 annual fee. And then when next March rolls around and I have to pay a new annual fee, it will be $795 annual fee, but I'm not going to pay that. I'm downgrading this card 100% to the Sapphire Preferred. The Sapphire Preferred is still one of the best credit cards on the market. It still transfers to Hyatt. As of right now, Chase hasn't indicated that they're going to refresh it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they took away that automatic 1.25 cents per point. And I would also expect an annual fee boost on that in the next year or so. So it's not completely over for Chase yet, although I do think they completely destroyed the Sapphire Reserve. And now I think there is a huge opportunity for an issuer like Citi to come in and make a Strata Elite card with a 50% boost. All this makes the Ritz-Carlton card a lot better. I'll have a video on that in a couple days, but who knows if that card's getting refreshed soon. Let me know what you guys think. Sorry, I was a little bit angry in this video, but I would be interested to see if any of you guys think this is actually a good change.